Wine, spearheads, and AI chatbots? The University of Minnesota has classes running about all of these topics this fall. Welcome to In the Know, a podcast dedicated to the U of M. I'm Atticus Mars. The U's course catalog is incredibly large, with over 300 majors and 1,500 courses. I spoke with several professors about what makes their classes unique and why students should take them. Professor Gilbert Tosteven teaches ANTH 3008, a course on the art of flint knapping.
So it's a class that teaches students without any experience with stone tool production how to make the oldest material culture in the human lineage, which is the creation of stone tools, which is often called flint knapping. So flint knapping began at least 3.3 million years ago. It became, fairly frequent by 2.7 million years ago. And I would say by 1.8, it was something that it was pretty habitual with hominins in our lineage. And it was very functional in terms of its role in the beginning, but it became sort of one of the earliest art forms.
The tools you make could be used for hunting, but thankfully, I don't need to kill my 96% lean ground beef at Target, am I right? Anyway, Tosteven explained to me that he is primarily teaching the art form, which is probably for the best.
It's a process that you learn by repetition, and you can't control with your conscious mind when you're actually making a strike with the hammerstone on the rock to make a flake. You can tell yourself what you want to do, and then you do it. But since the swing of the arm is less than a second, or about a second, but the crack propagates in milliseconds. And so you can't actually change what you're doing once your arm starts swinging. And so the only way of getting better at it is with repetition. And it does require strategic thinking.
This class is a fun way to relax and learn a new unique skill. And according to Tosteven, hopefully reach the same skill level as the mighty Homo erectus.
Once we said that if you ever want to be a competitor on the TV show Survivor, or the way I usually like to put it is that our fossil fuel-based economy is going to collapse eventually, and therefore you need to know something of the early ways that we actually got by in the environment. It's also a fun thing to do. You can make beautiful objects. You can appreciate, the skill you make. There's a little bit of a zen in getting into the flint knapping. It's like an investment toward what you might do as a hobby later on in your life.
Looking for another class that could lead to a hobby? Hort 1031, Wines and Vines, Introduction to Viticulture and Enology might be the class for you. The course is taught by Soon Lee Tae, a researcher at the university that wants to bring his appreciation and knowledge of wine and grapes to university students.
This class is really a vine and wine appreciation class. So a lot of times we think about the wine, which is really the fun part where people get to taste and evaluate. I'm teaching the students to appreciate the component that you grow out in the vineyard and then they produce the grapes and then eventually goes into pressing to make wine. Sometimes students think of it as a drinking class, but it's not a drinking class because it's really a tasting and experiencing the wine itself.
Tess said that the class has units on different kinds of wine. One is on red, another on white, and one on rosé. But the course also covers a wide range of what makes wine special, the branding, the marketing, logistics, and more.
I think students most of the time take the class thinking that it will be a fun class for them to be tasting wine, but they really get a brand new appreciation for just the breadth of knowledge that's covered in this course. I really encourage students to still consider applying and to register for this class, because I think most of these students, this is their final year or their final semester, and they've never stepped foot on the St. Paul campus. And I would just really encourage them to come to the St. Paul campus, take this class, and enjoy the experience of just how we interact with plants and how important plants are to human lives.
People drink wine, but where do they drink it? Who do they drink it with? From a wine night in with the girls to a wild night out with the fellas, Joseph Gertheis's Sociology 4243W course, Brewing, Society, Alcohol, and Social Life, explores these spaces of social interaction. Gertheis explained to me that this course offers students an opportunity to think about social culture and its relationship to alcohol.
We've got a great book that kind of goes through how people think about and talk about drinking, students do. And it talks about both some of the negative things that come out of that, but also why it's been so entrenched in universities over the ages. I mean, really back from whenever. Like, I have been at a university in Germany, in essentially the pub there, with, drunken graffiti scrawled from like 1600s. It's part of campus life.
The course also touches on the campus community's culture around drinking.
There's a lot of social bonding and group dynamics that happen around coming together and being together. And so drinking becomes the platform for that. It's not that drinking is necessary for it, but rather that's one common way, especially in the West, where you see people coming together. After that, we talk about history, and we talk about drinking in different places and eras. And then we've got a really interesting module on like community and bars and bar districts.
Gertheis wants students to engage with the world around them through the lens of drinking and social life.
It's a great way to get your feet wet with lots of different forms of engagement of data in the real world, while also thinking about something that's just kind of interesting to think about.
This next course will take you away from the modern wacky world of drinking and into the fine wine country of Italy. Italian 1837, Imagining Italy, Italian and American culture, history, and society through film is taught by Susanna Ferlito and offers a relaxed exploration of Italian culture through cinema.
The idea of the course was we'd use film as a sort of appetizer to bring students into a theme or a topic. And through that theme and topic, we'd have a faculty member give an informal lecture, Q&A after, to introduce students into the topic a little bit further, and particularly to introduce their research.
Ferlito always begins her course with Disney's Pinocchio, and then has her students read the original as well.
I have students read the original novel so that they compare the two puppets. And the theme of puppetry is really cool and important nowadays, particularly when technology is more and more pulling our strings.
The course covers a vast number of topics related to Italian culture and media, such as opera, Italian-American culture, and post-war Italy. Ferlito wants students to get a taste of Italy without filling their plates.
I think that there's so much pressure on students today to just only study what will give them a result at the end. I like to offer this sort of approach where it has to be fun. I want to show the passion I have. We all want to have students think about things they will never ever probably see again, but to use our time together to inspire, create some passion, create some joy around learning in particular.
Another thing that has created joy and relaxation, but also conflict, has been the growth of AI companion chatbots. Valerie Tiberius teaches a class called Philosophy 1922. Can we be friends with AI? This philosophy course dives into Tiberius' book about the topic of companionship and artificial intelligence.
The students are actually reading my book. It'll be published in the spring. It's coming out with Princeton in 2026. The book's called Artificially Yours, Real Friendship in a World of Chatbots. And I thought that's probably an interesting topic to talk to teenagers about. The class is organized around the chapters of the book. So we start with kind of basic questions about what is a chatbot, what's a companion chatbot, what is a friendship, what's good about friendship, and then can you get some of the things that are good about friendship from a relationship with a chatbot?
Because of the relevance of the topic, it's hard to draw scientific conclusions. Tiberius wants her students to come up with their own questions about AI and explore them through their own research.
The academic goal is that they feel confident that they can come up with a research question and figure out how to answer it. And I'm a philosophy professor, so the life of the mind and thinking about things is just one of the greatest pleasures of life. So I guess that's what I want for them, to be able to see that it's fun to think and that it is, it's not fun like playing baseball or going to a concert, but there's a kind of fun to it. I'd like them to get that. I would like them to have a deeper understanding of why friendship with people is important. I think most people think it is, but most people aren't very reflective about it.
Tiberius said that chatbots don't have the same background and independent perspective as humans, so it can present a facade of a real interaction, even though it just has the perspective of a computer. Thankfully for you listeners, I am not an AI chatbot, and I did actually write this script. I hope you will enjoy this exploration into some of the more unique and thought-provoking courses offered at the U of M. You never know when you're going to need a homemade spearhead or a bottle of Minnesota-grown wine. Don't hesitate to drop a comment about other fun and unique classes offered here at the U. We'd love to hear what you guys are taking this semester. This episode was written by Atticus Mars and produced by CC Heinen. I'm Atticus Mars, and this has been In the Know.